Out here in the Uinta Basin, there's a lot of fossils. Some days you'll be walking and there'll just be a skeleton on the ground. I've been working out in the Uinta Basin for 30 years. My research focuses on paleontology of the Middle Eocene, studying how mammals and other vertebrates react to changes in climate. The Eocene is a time period when mammals began to modernize. They're the ancestors to everything that we see today. What was interesting about this time period is that there were 3 hyperthermal events in the Eocene. At about 41 to 39 million years ago, there was another warming event, and that's the MECO. Basically, the MECO tells us that we have global warming. It does happen, but it typically happens at a slow pace. If we could potentially correlate our fossil record that we have created locally to a climate record, then we would have a better understanding of how vertebrates respond to being in a cooler time period, and then see how they respond as it begins to ramp up to warming. I reached out to the Natural History Museum in Utah and said maybe we could do an exhibit, and the exhibit director at the time, she said, well, we could do a video game.
The proposal included the opportunity for Beth to go out and do field work. Her objective was to go out and collect those smaller mammals, and then we would have an opportunity to display some of those fossils. Our exhibit and our game arose from a collaboration that spanned continents. The learning objective for the exhibit was that during the Eocene, natural warming spikes lasting tens to hundreds of thousands of years allowed for mammal diversification, but modern anthropogenic climate change is happening too quickly for mammals to adapt. It took us a while to come up with the idea that this could be a running game in which the characters would have a certain amount of time to collect resources and try to adapt.
Having digital interactive is a great way to encourage different kinds of learning. Our first round of prototyping we did was just paper cutouts of these mammals, and we were finding that people just loved it and were getting our learning outcomes.
An educational game is all about finding the game mechanics that match that educational content, and that pairing is really important for the game to really work as an instructional tool. Our first iteration was a really rough art test, similar to the prototype.
It was on a touchscreen, and we were able to bring it out into the gallery and do some more testing, and it just was not working.
It took many rounds of stripping away different layers with the help of the wonderful game designers at ThoughtDen, who kept guiding us toward, make it more simple, make it more simple.
For the level art, we wanted to show this transition from a really rich, green, lush environment through to burnt red rocks and desert. The screens before and after the game are also really important in reinforcing the idea of time passing, of the temperatures changing, and of course the mammals adapting.
The sequence of succeed, fail, succeed was very powerful, that the players really noticed that, as a small rodent, even in the fast climate change, I was able to succeed, and that really helped them take up the message that smaller mammals are going to have an easier time adapting. One of the challenges we faced in the exhibit was that the fossils that were available to us are pretty tiny.
I think I initially had these thoughts of I get to mount these big, awesome, magnificent things, and then when it came time to actually look at the objects, they were like 1 inch. And so that alone is really challenging. It was really fun to figure out those challenges to mount something that's really small, but still give every viewer a chance to see what makes these specimens so fantastic.
Our designers came up with the idea of highlighting them in these small circles that look like jewel boxes, and they're each individually lit, like an individual little gem. And I think to have the beautiful illustrations that Jorge Gonzalez created next to them, because it can be hard for a visitor to understand from looking at a tooth or a jaw, what is this animal?
The game is, I think, one of the best parts. It's exciting, it's bright, it's vibrant, so it really draws people in. And we get to hit these different levels of learning and different levels of experience for every kind of visitor that comes across here at the museum. It's one of the first pieces they see as they enter our Past Worlds gallery. So if we can kind of create that, man, I wonder what else happened, or I wonder why these animals did this, or how did they adapt, then it makes them connect with every other part of our museum.
My hope is that people understand that these resources are there to sort of teach us all about how the past was and how it can actually inform our present day understanding of how the planet works.